I broke my back.
What do you mean by that?
My back is broken. What do you mean, calm it down? It's a fight. Referees telling two fighters who want to fight to calm it down? He should calm down.
I saw he's like a clown in his show, man. He's not your guy.
Because Tyson Fury's back, and all you motherfuckers are under attack.
Look, Eddie Hearn can say all what he likes. Who gives a shit what Eddie Hearn says? It's garbage.
Are you off your tits? Have you been smoking something?
Can you let me retire and be happy? Please, just please.
Bombs away from the Bronx Bomber!
Wanda! Let's go, baby! Let's go!
I'm through. They put somebody else up and give me an interview.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
You never give me a fair shake. HBO needs to fire you. You don't know shit about boxing. You ain't shit. You're not shit.
I wish I was 50 years younger and I'd kick your ass.
I got drunk, man. Are you kidding?
No, you won the fight.
OMG, I am so excited.
Any of you radio personalities think you want smoke? Call me Mr. Chimney. I want smoke.
Yes. What is up? MCR family? Another daily edition of the show live on YouTube, obviously podcast from iTunes, Spotify, radio, etc. I am Matt, the Hipster Hunter. Find us on patreon.com/Mixed Combat Radio as well. Our other YouTube channel, Trending Now Network, is also up and running. We just did a recent show covering all the MCU news and the divorce of Spider-Man from Sony and all that fun stuff. So just go check that out, even though it's actually really depressing podcast. But digressing from that sad nerd news, we have actually a lot of boxing topics to get to. We have a lot of fights that happened this weekend, even though really none that were giant. Kovalev Yarde was a relatively big fight in terms of, just people being the boxing world, paying attention to it. Juan Francisco Estrada defended his belt on a card that actually delivered a lot of entertaining scraps, which I know Rob will be happy about because, I shit on the card and then I come here and say that the card was actually really entertaining. And also like some other stuff like Koze Tanaka coming back and defending his title. And he got knocked down, surprisingly. A lot of stuff to get to. Tifo Lopez, Richard Comey being announced. Joseph Parker, Chisora, terms agreed. A lot of stuff to get to. But before we do, of course, I'm joined as usual by the one and only, the illustrious Mr. Robbie Hearn, second cousin, twice removed of Sir Eddie. Rob, how you doing, man?
Yeah, doing good. Glad to be back with a show. Everybody in the chat, hit that thumbs up as usual. Share the show. Let people know we're here. Slowly momentum, we're building, getting close to that 2,000. Seem to be subs rising every day, bit by bit. But lots to talk about, like you say. So let's get into it. Let's get
to the fights first, just because there's not a lot that I think we need to really break down in depth, so we can kind of run through it. But there are a lot of fights to sort of get to, at least a lot of fight cards at least to address. Obviously, at the top, Sergey Kovalev versus Anthony Yarde. Rob, you obviously did a live fight chat. You can obviously see the post-fight sort of show, the breakdown version of that, the highlighted version of our live fight chat on YouTube as well. But, Rob, any sort of different thoughts now that we're a couple days, post the fight? Anything changing in terms of your perception on the matchup, how it went down, or just maybe thoughts on Kovalev, Canelo going forward? Thoughts overall a couple days removed from the fight?
Not necessarily on the performances. I know Tunde has come in for a hell of a lot of grief and hate on Twitter. With the stuff about him Yarde not sparring and I don't know, just shelling lions in the camp.
Lions in the camp.
But interesting thing I noticed, I haven't watched it back, was Buddy McGirt telling Kovalev, if you take any more shots like that, I'm stopping this fight. I didn't realize that at the time. Obviously, we were doing the live fight chat and I didn't have the audio, but people have been saying because of what happened to Dadashev, he said that, but he kind of said that to Dadashev anyway. So he seems to be that kind of trainer that is obviously putting his fighter first and doesn't want to see them take too much. But obviously the Dadashev tragedy sort of highlights that, and the fact that Buddy McGirt was telling, the champion, Kovalev, that if you take any more like that you did in round 8, I'm stopping this fight. So, and was that enough for Kovalev? Because he really turned it around in the 9th. You know, he looked like he was out of there, and then he'd come back and with a strong 10-9 round in the 9th. He looked great again. But yeah, nothing extra really, other than, like I say, interesting to hear some audio this time, having watched it back again.
Yeah, I mean, I watched it back again, and the fight definitely is still really entertaining on rewatch. I was kind of worried about that. I was thinking that maybe I would see as Kovalev kind of dominant, except for the 8th round on rewatch, because a lot of people actually had that opinion on social media and in our comment section. A lot of people seem to want to take away some credit from this win from Kovalev, which is, I understand, because, I mean, Yarde is an unknown commodity in the division until this fight. But this is one of those performances where I think we now sort of know where he stands in the division, and that's relatively in a top 10, top 15 position overall. And Kovalev had a tough 8th round, maybe lost another round in the early rounds, but relatively speaking, had a competitive, fun fight with a unheralded prospect, and that prospect rose to the occasion on certain moments in the fight. I think I'm far more intrigued about Anthony Yarde's career moving forward than I was before this fight. I was always sort of a guy of the mindset of Yarde has done nothing, he's proven nothing, but he's talking the loudest. So therefore, I don't really care that much. He's now done something, even in a loss. He's now done something, and I'm just really curious about Yarde's career moving forward. I think Kovalev, he's in that sort of twilight of his career. I see him having 5 fights tops, and then calling it a story, an end to the story of Sergey Kovalev's career.
Does that change if the next fight is Canelo? 5 fights?
Possibly, yeah. Because I said up to. So I could see it being 1 or 2 fights if, let's say, Canelo is attached to it, and then
maybe 1.
I mean, yeah, I think no matter what, he doesn't go out on a Canelo fight, even win or lose. I just don't see it happening. I see most fighters going past that point when they should stop. So let's say Kovalev wins the Canelo fight, has that money fight, he wins it, he can go off to the sunset. Is he going to do that? No, because in the history of fighting, that largely doesn't happen, so I don't assume that happens, you know?
Yeah, I mean, look, you talk about someone like Tommy Coyle, he's saying about one last fight and things like that, but that's Tommy Coyle that isn't necessarily getting, well, definitely isn't getting like 12 million or 10 million for a Canelo fight, right? So those kind of guys, maybe a lot more. I know the bigger guys that have always like maybe earned good money, but you know, it's a little different in circumstances. I think that a Tommy Coyle type character, I think, just one more sort of payday, which isn't necessarily a payday when you look at these top end, earners, but a lot easier to walk away after, getting 8 figures, 9 figures, or whatever.
Oh, absolutely. No, absolutely. I can definitely see that.
It still happens, yeah. It still happens. So,
I mean, look how long Mike Tyson kept going.
Yeah. But remember, at one point, Don King took all his money on, so he maybe had to try and earn something the best way he knows how.
Hey, God knows what those Russian oligarchs are like with Sergey Kovalev. But moving on, I think we're all sort of of the same mindset. This was a fun fight, and a fight that I think most people who are educated on the sport thought was going to be a mismatch in a one-sided fight. Turned out to be quite the opposite. So that's fun. We have a new real contender in the light heavyweight division in Anthony Yarde, when we kind of just didn't... We thought he was sort of a hype beast before. We didn't think he was anything special.
No, I mean, for me, there's a lot of things to go back and try and work on.
Definitely.
What did he land? Like 15 jabs in the fight or something really low like that. Yeah, apparently he landed more punches on Sergey Kovalev than any other opponent, which is kind of it's a weird stat because it was competitive, but I felt that, obviously in the 8th he was close to getting him out of there, but other than that, Kovalev kind of controlled it. His experience shone through and showed just what almost the primary weapon that the jab is, and Yarde just didn't seem to have one. And I don't know. There's a lot of call for if he changes trainer. Some people say, ironically, Buddy McGirt would be ideal for an Anthony Yarde and things like that. So I don't know. Tunde got him this far, and he loses a fight, and it's that get him gone. But when you hear things like no sparring, I mean, sparring has been part of the sport since forever. So if he'd have come away and won impressively, people would go.
And he was 30 seconds away from winning that eighth round.
Maybe one or two punches, it's not even time wise, but who knows? But yeah, like I say, if Yarde would have won it, how many counts would we go? Yeah, do I need to get punched in the face for 8 weeks building up to this? I don't think I will. I'll try this Anthony Yarde method. It worked for him, but I don't know. But bottom line, I thought Yarde done himself proud. I think got to work on the gas tank a little bit. He seemed to properly blow at some point, and again, it's that. The Joshua big muscles. He's quite a muscular, like heavyweight. I don't know, but yeah, there's something to address. But he done himself proud. But take nothing away from Kovalev. He's still at that sort of prime age. Well, not prime, but past his prime age, maybe. But still, many people said under a bit of adversity, he'd crumble, he'd fold. But he came out in that 9th like his life depended on it.
People were saying that Kovalev was done since the second Andre Ward fight.
Yeah.
So he's still here. Credit to him, even though he's kind of a dirtbag human being. Moving on, though. In the co-main event, Alexei Pepin lost via majority decision against Alunga Makabu. Actually, a really fun cruiserweight fight, surprisingly, and one where both guys were found on the inside, exchange combinations. And Makabu was just the better, more experienced fighter. It sort of mirrored the main event in a way, in terms of clearly the experience was a massive factor in this fight. Interesting to see what Pepin does moving forward as he was an undefeated prospect at that point. Now he has a loss. It was a fun loss, competitive loss against a guy that's been there before. Just curious to see how he sort of adjusts moving forward. Rob, any thoughts on the co-main event, or you want to move on?
No, it was a fun fight. I enjoyed the fight. Makabu has back-to-back visits to Russia, right? And real entertaining fights. Makes you appreciate the Bellew victory a lot more. But no, it was a fun fight, but yeah, not a great deal to. I'm sure he should probably get a title shot next, right? Makabu, what have you thought? Depends on the World Boxing Super Series.
Depends on how that shakes out.
Because that was what, WBC? Was it WBC?
Well, what titles are outside the World Boxing Super Series right now? Are there any?
I put in the WBC because there was that whole. It was going to be on the.
Oh, that's right. There's that whole bullshit. Yeah, I forgot about that.
I think they're putting it on for the final. So I think are they all in it? Aren't they or no?
I don't know. Who cares? Who cares? Probably. Yeah. He can probably get the next title shot of the winner of the World Boxing Super Series, which is in Lithuania, or Latvia, or some shit. Juan Francisco Estrada faced Dwayne Beeman, and actually a really fun back and forth fight. Beeman came back, hurt Estrada multiple times. It didn't drop him, but he hurt him multiple times. And I gotta say, his defense, man, it looked suspect. And actually, a thread throughout a lot of these fights I'm going to talk about is defense. That even guys like Koji Tanaka, who we're going to talk about at some point,
yeah, he's not the best.
That defense needs work on. And Estrada offensively, wow. Yeah. Left hook is on point. His ability to punch mid-combination and view is always on point. He's fast, brutal with his punches, accurate. He's almost a perfect offensive fighter, but defensively speaking, he just gets caught. Like, he gets lazy sometimes. And Beeman, while not a guy that was beating Estrada really at any points, definitely hurt him, definitely made it competitive in a fun fight, which I thought wasn't going to be a fun fight. Just to sort of quickly move through the process. Liam Smith defeated Mario Alberto Lozano. Again, sort of a fun back-and-forth fight, no defense attached to it, but that's Liam Smith. We sort of know that that's him. He's that very traditional-speaking European high guard. Head in the chest, goad the body with combinations. I am curious to see what his matchmaking is like, because same with Jonah Carroll, who I'm going to talk about in a second, there was no reason for them to be on this card. Like, it felt out of place for them to be there, to be quite honest. I was hoping that wouldn't be the thing on watching it, but when I was watching, I'm like, this makes no sense. Jonah Carroll obviously won, and he won via unanimous decision in a fun fight, and a complete Jonah Carroll fight. Filip Hrgović won via TKO in the third round. Oh my God. Hrgović is one of those guys I think I'm slowly turning on and turning around in terms of I think he is a legit talent. I was unsure of that before, but offensively speaking, he is extremely gifted as well. I think like if you put him against Joe Joyce right now, he beats Joe Joyce. Easy. Let's just be honest about it. And I did not see the Diego Pacheco fight. I did see the Shakram Giasov fight against Darlis Perez. Wow. And for a guy that just went life and death with Emmanuel Taylor, he needed this win. This was huge for him. This brought hype back to Giasov when, I'll be honest, when I was there live at the forum and saw Emmanuel Taylor beat him up and kind of get robbed of a decision, I was kind of off-put by Giasov. This win put me back onto the Giasov train. Rob, thoughts on this card?
Yeah, and did you see Espino as well?
No, I did not.
Little 4-rounder, and the guy really came to fight him and just pulled out a left hand that was awesome. But yeah, he looks legit as well. But yeah, like you say, fun card. Maybe a couple of fights didn't, like you say, make the sense. But if you're just watching it as a boxing match, they were good matchups. Instead of analyzing the narrative of it or anything like that or the reason, but no, fun fights. I'll be like you said, Giasov, he needed that, and that was brutal. I think Darlis Perez, obviously former world champion, he looked like he was happy to sit down and just pick up that money after copping that left hand after 30 seconds. At first, I thought, he's definitely just sitting this one out. But when he did try to get up, he did look unsteady. So I don't know, but it did look at first like early on. We get big knockdowns or whatever. Usually, because they're fresh, they can stand up again and sort of go on. Maybe it still ends in the first round because the guy jumps on them. But he was like, "Nah, I'm good. I'll just take that check. Thank you very much." But yeah, John O'Carroll, I don't know. He's again just someone that wants to go to war. I think to a point, Tevin Farmer made him look better than he is because there was a little bit of wind behind John O'Carroll off the back of the performance against Farmer.
Or Tevin Farmer isn't the reincarnation of Pernell Whitaker as he is sold. I'm just gonna put that hot take out there.
Yeah, I mean,
I said it. I'm sorry.
I mean, I've never. If someone's been selling that, I've never bought it.
DAZN Matchroom.
Again, I personally haven't gone.
I didn't say you. I'm not arguing with you. I'm just saying I'm just talking to the boxing world in general right now.
I mean, look, he had it on his shorts and stuff. Then I mean, more in like
he's really talented, but like
it's just.
I'll be honest here.
Right.
I think every top 130 pounder beats Tevin Farmer. Tevin Farmer's toughest title defense has been Jonah Carroll. Right? Like that would be his best name on title defense record right now. Toughest fighter in terms of accolades, and that is not a good thing.
No, I mean, I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, Carroll, we'll see obviously what he can do or what he can get. But yeah, Estrada, credit to Beeman. He came to fight. He kept coming back to fight, but I think Estrada, like you say, his offense was just a little bit too much and just wasn't quite at the level to cope with that. But yeah, I thought it was a great card. Looked amazing. Sellout. I think 12,000 plus in attendance. So some of these Mexican cards, especially with someone like Estrada, make real good sense. If they don't come up with DAZN Mexico, they're really missing out because that is subscriber driven, just ready to be done. I wasn't expecting that to. I was thinking, so some of the DAZN cards have been smaller venues and smaller amounts of tickets and stuff like that.
But for example, the Brandon Rios Humberto Soto card, right? In
Yeah.
Mexico. That was a relatively small theater, I want to say.
Yeah. But when they showed the arena, I was like, oh, are they gonna, you know, put curtains up around like a top section or something like that? Because that looks big. But no, I think one of the design crew, like production manager or something, he put out all tickets gone and sellout expected. I was like, damn. And obviously, from one sellout to another, back here with Matchroom for Loma Campbell. Obviously, I don't know if we're gonna get to any of that or whatever, but
No Loma Campbell talk today. That's gonna be tomorrow, Wednesday.
okay. So yeah, but yeah, good card, good look good, and some fun fights on there, and good knockouts as well.
Yeah, agreed. Moving on PBC or PBC on FS1, Brandon Figueroa defeating Javier Chacon via KO in the 4th round. I mean, he was just too big, too strong, too young. I mean, it was like watching not natural because the guy's giant for his size, but I mean a pretty big athlete beating up an old guy on the street. Like that's kind of what it looked like. I did not like this matchmaking at all for Ben Figueroa. They need to step up the competition heavily because he is good. He is really talented.
Fulton next, isn't it?
That's what they're talking about. And obviously, Stephen Fulton fought on this card, defeated Isaac Avelar, and he looked good. I still think that he probably gets beat up by Figueroa, to be quite honest, at this point. I think. Fulton at times gets stuck along the ropes, but it will be a good test to see if Figueroa can cut off the ring. Because if he really just can't, Fulton will be able to outbox him maybe for like a 10-round decision. That's 100% possible. Or actually more like a 12-round decision because he has an interim belt, right? So it'll be a 12-round fight.
How many wins is that for both of them?
That this was the 20th win for Figueroa and the 17th win for Fulton.
Oh, okay. Well, they're on the same path. It's good to see that if they do, because these are prospects, right? So
yes, yeah.
It's nice to see because we've done it a few times over here and it goes down really well. Prospect versus, people go, I'll keep them, they don't need to face each other, but to do it, I like it.
I agree completely. Quick joke from the chat. Kaz with the joke about PBC for once. Look at you be objective, Kaz. Why was Chacon wearing Skechers in the ring? Yeah, that was rough. But I think the Fulton-Figueroa matchup makes a lot of sense, and it's one of those where if the loser obviously loses, it doesn't hurt their stock too much because I could see ways for both guys to win, and it would just show gaps in their respective game at this point. And that's okay if you're a prospect/contender. If you have 17, 20 fights and you're just getting to that world level, it's okay not to have a complete game, but you should start having fights to where you start seeing that you don't have a complete game so you can adjust to it. You can start fixing that, shoring up that hole in your game. I think Figueroa Fulton's the best matchup to make right now, other than if you want to just, fast track Figueroa. Again, Guillermo Rigondeaux, Figueroa does make sense. You could do it, and you don't kill off a prospect/contender in Stephen Fulton.
You might.
No, let's say let's say you have Stephen Fulton against like a borderline top 20 guy, just to keep him busy.
Oh, right. And if they win, they win. If they lose, they lose, and they can fight each other anyway.
So if Guillermo Rigondeaux fights Figueroa, if Guillermo Rigondeaux wins, okay, then we know Figueroa is not the goods yet. Stephen Fulton's next up. Okay, if Figueroa wins and beats Guillermo Rigondeaux, then you have Figueroa versus Stephen Fulton, which now is a legit fight. You can probably main event on Fox because you now have the Rigondeaux win in Figueroa's pocket. But moving on, Omar Juarez picked up a really good TKO win as well in the card. That was brutal.
It was just a 10-second exchange that ended badly for the other guy. Oh shit!
Because
their hands were flying, and then oh my god, wallop! He just not good. But,
Darwin Price defeated Aaron Herrera via TKO in the second round. That's pretty big as well. A lot of the young guys for this PBC card stepped up. I want to go back and watch it, though, because I'll be honest, I kind of skimmed a lot of this card just to sort of see some of it for this show because I haven't had a lot of time this weekend to watch boxing, unfortunately. But From what I saw from everyone looked good. All the young guys looked fantastic. A lot of fun fights across the board.
See, the thing is, hopefully this is something moving on, but getting to see these youngsters for you guys, seeing these prospects on TV, that's a good thing. So you catch these guys early on. That Juarez, I think, was at 4-0, 5-0 now.
Yeah, I think so.
If his next fight's on TV, you know, he got himself a crazy knockout that went sort of mini boxing viral. People were then, I believe he's Texan as well. So there's could build a following. He can be on a Charlo card. He can,
I guarantee you, Gary's going to call in and talk about him.
Yeah, new hype train, Gary.
Yeah, 323-870-4051. Skype, Mixed Combat Radio. Call in.
But yeah, I think that's a good thing because that's always my good thing about watching the UK cards is I see these young kids from debuts, and yeah, you know, I get to watch the journey from the beginning, so people can get invested and get behind these young guys instead of like, oh, this kid's good. Who is it? You know, you should have seen his previous 6 fights, 7 fights, whatever. So start showing these on the undercards.
No, I agree completely. It was good because most of this card was televised, either on FS2 or FS1. Moving on, Koji Tanaka defended his title against Jonathan Gonzalez. Actually put in a far tougher fight than probably expected, mainly just because Jonathan Gonzalez was hard to hit. Like, he was in and out of range quite easily. Like, his ability to move was probably underrated going into it. And Tanaka just had a hard time sort of landing shots at first. And then, you know, he hurt him a couple times. I think he dropped him, in the 4th round, something like that. And then Gonzalez dropped him, I want to say, in the 5th round. And then Tanaka just finally found his range, was able to attack the body, was able to cut off the ring eventually, and just didn't let Gonzalez up in the 6th and 7th round. Finally finished him to the body and knocked him down several times. Tanaka, though, again, sort of switching back to what I said earlier and alluded to, Tanaka's head movement was an issue in this fight. And on top of that, probably more significantly, his footwork was the issue, and specifically the move of going backwards. He would go 3 or 4 steps straight back. And like one of the first lessons you learn from a really good trainer is if you're going backwards, you take 1 to 2 steps at most. And most trainers will say 1 step. You take 1 step back and then you go left or right. You pick an angle and you go that way. Because otherwise, you're allowing your opponent to gain momentum on you, and you become less and less effective going backwards. And on top of that, if you add no head movement, you're just a sitting duck. So Tanaka just needs to sort of drill that, you know, take 1 step back and then go left, right, duck under a shot, roll out, reset the distance, reset the range, reset the combination, and you're good to go. And he just wasn't doing that. And that's a simple thing he can fix. He's young too. He's 14-0 now. And he's a 3-division champion. You know, he's obviously fighting at the elite level still, but he is still young. So I expect issues still, like I said, with the other guys who are still, 17 or 20 fights. Tanaka's still only 13-fight pro. I expect issues, but I expect him to shore these issues up quite fast because he is a 3-division champion. He is a borderline top 10 pound-for-pound talent, and he shouldn't be making these issues.
Is that something that he's always done? Or is it just... Okay.
Kind of. He hasn't really done it as much. I should say this. Opponents really haven't made him do that as much. Like this fight, he was doing that a lot.
Maybe it was just that guy, you know. You can just meet that guy in your career that maybe you're having a slightly off, you're not quite on it, and
Definitely
just find a guy that you maybe take a little longer to figure out. They might have slightly different moves and I don't know, mannerisms or whatever, and it can just be that guy. He's not got your number, but you just didn't find the keys to unlock that knockout as you have been doing, and it can just throw you off your game. And so I'm not always, obviously fighters are looking to improve, but I'm not about to those body shots look pretty brutal in the end. He obviously coped with what happened and got through it and on to the next ones, but always look to improve, I guess.
And I will say that did kind of look like an off night for Tanaka. Like, this was a guy that wasn't as good as, let's say, Shokamura or like Angel Tito Acosta. And both fights, he didn't do that sort of, cardinal sin of footwork as much. And maybe I just need to go back and watch those fights and see what technically was happening, why that wasn't happening as much. But to me, maybe it just was an off night. But moving on, let's get to the news of the day. Hit the like button, share the show, subscribe, and again, patreon.com/Mixed Combat Radio. $1 a month gets you extra shows every week. And reminding everyone on Patreon right now, and even not Patreon members, you can still go and do this. Go to the championship rounds, topics and questions post. Drop a question, drop a topic, so we can do a show. So I want 10 topics or questions on that post, and then we can do a show. But moving on, let's get to the news of the day. Richard Comey, breaking via Dan Rayfield. Richard Comey and Teofimo Lopez being planned for the top rank on ESPN, not ESPN Plus. I like that. Card on December 14th at MSG in New York. Multiple sources with knowledge of the plans told ESPN. The fight, which has not been finalized, would take place on the card that likely will be headlined by world titleist Terence Crawford's mandatory defense against Egidijus Kavalauskas. It would air on ESPN immediately following the network Heisman Trophy presentation showing taking place a few blocks away in Manhattan. Obviously, a great lead into that card. I'm excited. Plus, Michael Collin, per Dan Rayfield, I think from an earlier report, like a couple days ago, I want to say, that was going to be on this card as well. Obviously, has fought in New York several times.
Very quickly on that, I just saw it because Michael Benson put it out, so I haven't got it's according to ESPN, but Michael Conlon is reportedly planning to move down to super bantamweight and may fight Isaac Dogboe or Genesis Savannah in his next bout.
I would like to see that.
Neho.
I would like to see a Neho versus Conlon fight. Give me that, please. But overall, this card is looking fun. Mm-hmm. I don't like the main event that much because Kavalauskas just had a draw with Sugar Ray Robinson, and let's be honest.
Whoa, Sugar Ray Robinson.
Well, his nickname is Sugar too, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know.
I think his nickname is Sugar.
You can't.
I want to say that he does. Yeah, I could be wrong about that, but I want to say his nickname is Sugar.
But
I think he spelled it differently.
What?
Like left out the R.
Sugar with an A.
No, you just leave out the R. Anyways, moving on. I like that main event doesn't do anything for me, but you add Richard Comey, Teofimo Lopez, which is a great fight. The potential of Conlon versus Dogboe on it. Yes, take my money, even though it's ESPN. Like, you don't really need to take my money for it. It's not ESPN Plus. It's regular ESPN. And again, like I just like the idea of putting a stat card with a great lead-in on ESPN.
Well, maybe all the undercards will be on Plus. Because isn't there something trophy being presented? Is that on ESPN as well?
Okay, I feel like you didn't hear anything I've said in this entire segment. The Heisman Trophy show is the lead-in.
Yeah.
You know what that means?
Yes, that comes into it. But what is the overlap? Is the undercard already started? Is it going to? Is that
well? Of course, part of the undercards on ESPN Plus, of course. Just like part of PBC undercards will be FS1 or FS2, respective to Fox. Right? Like, you understand that?
Yeah. So if you want to watch the whole card, you are going to have an ESPN Plus subscription, and then flick it over.
Let's be honest. Most people don't watch the whole card, so that doesn't matter. If we're talking about the top two fights and maybe a third fight for a triple header on ESPN, yeah, I mean that's all that people care about, and that's important. Okay. I just don't understand what your point was. Moving on, unless you have any points to make about Teofimo Lopez, Richard Comey, because
well, it's hopefully that means Teofimo sorted out the family issues, and is saying this is being targeted for. Does that mean it's happening? I don't know. I really hope so. Let's get this fight. But yeah, and like you say, I don't know what they're going to do with Crawford to make us be actually excited to watch a Crawford fight. I don't know who that guy is that's in the blue corner or whatever. You know what I mean?
They should just made the Kell Brook fight, honestly.
Would you be that excited for that?
I'd be more excited. Yeah, I'll be
But
honest.
more excited as in vaguely happy?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I don't know.
Levels.
Hey, define vaguely happy, because that's
Well,
that's a really
not
vague
miserable.
term.
Not miserable.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's acceptable, I would say. Like, Kavaliauskas has done nothing. Like, he's another mandatory that should not be a mandatory. Like, how has he gotten in this position? And how does he still have this position after a draw? How? Like, that makes no sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's the whole sanctioning bodies shit, right?
It's bullshit.
Why is
It's all
Derevyanchenko
bullshit.
about to make another bag?
And honestly, like, we have Luis Collazo fighting around this time of the year as well. Why isn't a Luis Collazo pulled back into a Terrence Crawford negotiation?
I don't know. But speaking of this date, this is also going up against probably Julian Williams and Hurd rematch, right?
Yes. So if this all goes to plan, and also the Hurd Williams card goes to plan, December 14th we'll have 2 cards in the tri-state area, one in Barclays Center, one in MSG at the same time, and obviously one ESPN top rank card, one Fox and PPC card. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Ratings war. Here we go.
Channel hopping.
I want smoke.
Imagine
Who wins?
Oh,
Who gets the better rating? Because traditionally speaking, if this wasn't Crawford and also didn't have the lead in, I would say, come on, Fox has the bigger subscriber base. It would be Fox hands down. However, you have Crawford, who traditionally speaking is a fantastic TV draw. Secondly, you have a fantastic, or as you like to say, Rob, to quote the great Eddie Izzard, an awesome lead-in in the Heisman Trophy show. And I'll be honest here, this would be a great sort of mini, I don't know, experiment on what platform is better. What platform is better for promoting your brand and getting more eyes on it? Is it the Fox machine and the PBC machine, or is it the ESPN Top Rank machine? And these,
ESPN is maybe a better machine, but PBC have got a bigger army.
That's a bar.
I don't know about that. I don't know what I will follow that up with, but no, I don't know. I think the PBC army will rally and do everything in their power to win that war. But I think
sorry, quickly. Arthur saying we don't know the full PPC card yet. I'll be honest, it doesn't matter. Like, Hurd Williams by itself is the best fight on that weekend. It's better than Richard Comey, Teofimo Lopez. It's better than Crawford Kavaliauskas. It's better than those fights. Am I wrong on that? I feel like that's not a hot take.
Comey Lopez, low key could be.
It might have more eyeballs on it because Lopez, honestly speaking.
I just mean fire. Like, it could be an absolute great fight.
Yeah, but I mean, Hurd Williams was a fantastic fight.
Yeah, all right.
That was fight of the year, arguably.
I don't think you. Yeah, all right. But I'm just saying. I think Comey Lopez could be equally.
No, I understand what you're saying. I'm just making the argument, just counter arguing here.
My counter argument was you were like,
to
be honest, this is easily the better fight.
So your bar was kind of like sitting on the fence there. So are you saying that PBC will do more views than the ESPN card?
I don't know, because like you say, I think ESPN are a better
machine.
Better machine at boxing. I think Fox is learning. I think they're doing good. Don't get me wrong. We're not hating in any way. I think they've done for big fights, especially.
I will say this: the Fox pay-per-view machine is different than the Fox machine. You get what I'm saying? Well, like the level of marketing we see for Fox pay-per-views is drastically different than the marketing we see for just regular Fox main events.
But obviously, Fox will have like NFL kind of building as well, like
that's true.
All through their
that
NFL.
Time of the year.
But that is, I guess, in that.
So will ESPN though. So we're ESPN.
Yeah, but I'm guessing that Heisman thing's a big deal, right? For it to be mentioned.
Yeah, it
So
is.
a lot of people will be watching that, right?
Traditionally speaking, they have done, if not the best ratings of the year, the second best ratings of the year on this card for Top Rank in the last couple years now.
Right.
I think
So,
Loma Rigondeaux, like 2 years back or 3 years back, was on this card after the Heisman show, and it did gangbuster numbers, right?
yeah.
I want to say Crawford Benavidez, like that fight was also attached to the Heisman. I could be wrong on that. Maybe it was Crawford Horn, but that was ESPN Plus, so I don't know if we ever knew the numbers on that. I'm forgetting one of the Crawford fights was attached to it as well, and that did great numbers.
Yeah.
So
For me, I wouldn't say any of them are massively like stars in any way.
quickly,
So,
LDTB saying numbers don't lie. Fox killing ESPN. I mean, overall this year, absolutely. But I'm talking about individually these two cards. Who wins out of these two cards on the same day, same city? Who gets the better rating? Who gets the better attendance? I'm curious. You can't say it's going to be outright Hurd Williams. It could be because it's obviously the better fight, but Crawford is a massive TV draw, and the Heisman Trophy lead-in it's just too big to ignore.
yeah, that's my fear. There's no agenda attached to my comment, although people.
No, I'm not.
might
Yeah,
fair. But I just think ESPN have been doing this a lot longer, and Crawford does numbers, especially on the main ESPN. Right, he's hit like what 2 million and stuff like that, 2.4 or
the Benavidez fight was 2.3 or 2.4 million views, and if it does that, it will beat Hurd Williams, guys. Like I just want to let you know, like there's no Fox card this year that has averaged out over 2 million views.
No, I mean I might be wrong on this, but didn't I read something like Jedi? What's it?
Jed Goodman. Yeah.
Wasn't the Fox numbers sort of only marginally sort of dropping? Then there was like another good one, and then dropping. I don't know.
But that could coincide with just like the summer months, which usually are kind of a downward trend for boxing in terms of numbers.
Oh, yeah, quiet.
I think that's what coincide with it too. But anyway, speaking, I mean, these two events on the same day, it's gonna make our job very hard to decide what the hell we do in terms of live fight chats. Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, I probably
Maybe
won't be able to either. So
yeah, you're gonna be asleep. Obviously, it doesn't matter. It's gonna be me and Phil.
ITV might pick up. I don't know what's happening with that. We haven't had an ITV fight for a little while for a PBC card.
Igloo, longtime listener and supporter, saying, "What is the Hurd Williams lead in?" I don't know. I can try to look that up when we get to another topic if you guys want. But it's gonna take probably maybe some digging. Arthur Santrello did 2.4, though the main event did 2.4, not the telecast. Those are two very different things, guys. But I'm at the telecast average. So the entire 3-hour block, what's the average viewership of that? Usually when I'm talking about numbers in terms of TV viewers, I only reference that number. Or at least I try to be consistent. If I can't find that number, then I will state this number is the main event average or the main event peak. But if I say telecast average, that means the entire telecast average. So when you're looking at, let's say, a Keith Ideck article or a Jake Donovan article on Boxing Scene, those are usually the guys that do the numbers in terms of viewership, make sure you guys read what those numbers are. Just being very specific. Or when you're on Twitter and you see Brooklyn Boxing or whoever that Yahoo is that just posts random numbers and doesn't give you context to what those numbers are, then read an article and that tells you what it is, whether it's the telecast average or peak, whether it's the main event average or peak. Those are all very different things, guys. But moving on, Rob, again, guys, calling 323-870-4051. Obviously, Gennady Golovkin's fighting Sergey Derevyanchenko next in October, right? October 5th, I believe. However, it seems like he's already set his mind that he's not getting Canelo next, and he wants Ryota Murata in Japan, and he's 100% open to it, and they're trying to get that 60,000 Tokyo Dome crowd. Rob, are we finally getting this fight that's sort of been like teased for a long time? And A, do we get the fight like after the Derevyanchenko fight, which I think we all agree Triple G should win? And then B, Do you care if we get this fight or not?
I'd love to see it.
Okay.
I think it'd be a great fight, personally.
Especially in Japan, that'd be cool.
Yeah, and it's same network, DAZN Japan, DAZN.
Murata?
Well,
Murata's ESPN.
yeah, but it's Triple G who's exclusive to DAZN. So
No, I understand, but they're not the same network.
All right, okay, yeah, all right, but I don't know. I think they'll put it on. I don't know.
I probably guarantee you DAZN won't get it. I'm just saying they're not on the same network. You said that. I'm just making sure they're not.
No, I was thinking DAZN in the same territory as Japan and whatever, but you know what I mean.
Arthur saying, I thought Rob Brandt had a rematch clause. Of course. So, I mean, again, this is not the next fight. It's the fight after Derevyanchenko, guys.
Do we need? I don't know, but yeah. I just like the fight. I think it'd be great because I've always felt Murata as a bit of a poor man's Triple G. So let's see if an old Triple G can beat a poor man's Triple G.
A poor man Young's Triple G, which is a weird combination right there.
Yeah,
right? He's
yeah,
younger.
Hashtag Triple G 6G.
It'd be like the Mikey, like the Mikey versus Danny fight. Hashtag Garcia.
Oh yeah, you'd love to see it.
That was so good. That was awesome. Moving on, Joseph Parker versus Derek Chisora seems to be finally happening. Quote, terms agreed despite months of difficult negotiations. It's also rumored to be attached to the Prograis Taylor fight in October, right? Obviously at the O2 in London, which most likely would be Sky Sports box office. Maybe not air horns for box office, but hey, that's a great card. So I'm happy.
Yeah, that is a nice doubleheader or sort of co-main, whatever. Because the pay-per-view thing, by the way, that was just me speculating, talking with Matt. I think that will mean it's potentially pay-per-view worthy. I know people will be like, fuck pay-per-views, I'm not, whatever, but Prograis Taylor, Parker Chisora, I like that. I think that's
what was the other actual like domestic UK pay-per-view that you guys had this year? Or other couple?
Domestic, Dillian White Rivas.
Yeah, Prograis Taylor and Parker Chisora is better than White Rivas, guys.
So
it's
what
worth
else
the money.
What else have we had? I can't even think.
Was the Gashi card, was that pay-per-view or was that the Gashi Chisora, Gashi Allen, that card? Was that box office?
What card was that? What fight was that on? Oh, that was Dave Allen headlined it. It wasn't pay-per-view. That was Dave Allen and Lucas Brown. Just a Saturday night fight.
Yeah. Anyways, Parker Chisora, I like the fight. It makes sense. I love that Parker had to be the B-side for the fight to be made. I think that's hilarious because Parker's clearly not the B-side here. But I like that he was like, fine, like, fuck it. Like, I'll be the B-side. Yeah. Like, having been in camp with Parker, that's 100% his demeanor to be like, yeah, fuck it. Let's just make the fight.
Why he lost his bouts.
Ooh. And that type of attitude, ladies and gentlemen, is why we don't have a Loma Campbell credential.
I don't care. No, he's too nice. He's too nice. Where's the dog? Where's the angry? I want to see an angry Parker. Well, I've never seen an angry Parker. But Matt, you should be hitting the gyms because I'll try and find out which one it is. But Chisora is in LA right now, working out.
Oh, let me just go driving around all the LA gyms.
I said I'd let me find out. And I'd love to see you interview Derek Chisora.
I would love to. I mean, Chisora's one of my Chisora low key is one of my favorite heavyweights because he's always fun.
And if he's in the right mood, you could have a nice time with him, or you could be kind of between a rock and a hard place.
Speaking of great co-main events to World Boxing Super Series main events, Nordine Obali versus Takuma Inoue is announced for that Saitama Arena event. It's November 7th, obviously main event. Donaire versus Inoue. Mainline this card to my veins, Rob. 2 smaller weight class fights. 2 bantamweight title fights on the same card. Inoue brothers double headlining. Rob, I honestly cannot contain how excited I am for this card. Like, this might be my favorite card of the year.
That you won't wake up in time for. Okay.
Whoa. I will be awake for this one.
All right.
The live fight chat for this, guys.
Right.
What, you doubt me? You doubt me?
You didn't even watch Tanaka fight.
Well, yeah, I didn't know it was like live stream. Like, I didn't know there was legit like official live streams on for that one.
Oh, I don't know either, to be honest. I'm just
Oh,
saying.
there was like that. They allowed that one to be live streamed. So like, I think like even like Bleacher Report was live streaming it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that usual source. But yeah, no. Good on co-main added. The monster and his little bro or big bro, which is a younger brother, or
I don't know.
Who cares? I'm not even that. It's all right. I'm not that worried about it. Abali and other Inoue. I just want to see the monster. That's it. I just want to wake me up when that one's on.
I like Wabali. Shout out to France. Viva France.
Yeah.
Shout out to Coach Mitty. Anyways, let's move on. Again, call in 323-870-4051. Press 1 to get in the queue. Austin Trout planning to drop down to 147 and targets Danny Garcia. What? Why? Why are we doing this, guys? Why are we doing this to ourselves? Let's just not have this fight. Austin Trout, just please don't do that to your body, because you're going to kill yourself trying to make 147. You're a big guy. Like, pause, but like, don't do that.
Let me just be on record. Let me be on record as to saying I doubt Trout. Please, just like Matt said, don't worry about Danny Garcia. Just where's that come from?
I don't know. Like literally where it's coming from, or like,
is that Bob? I mean, Uncle Al. Is that you want another fight? Oh, really? Well, get yourself down to 147 because we're trying to find someone for Danny Garcia.
I'll be honest. I think it's just Trout going and doing his own thing, right? Like, there's no way that Heyman was like, yeah, the fight for Danny Garcia is Austin Trout. Right?
Yeah, but there's no way Al should be saying, all right, well, if you can make the weight, we'll make the fight. No.
Well, to be fair, it's not that PBC is playing this. Trout is just out there in the media saying that he's looking to do this.
All right, fair enough.
That he wants to go to 147 and, quote, shake shit up.
Oh, yeah, you probably will in your own body. But anyway.
Oh, my God. He's going to be so weight drained. It's going to be bad. Emmanuel Navarrete, moving on, has been announced to defend his WBO Super Bantamweight World title against some guy named Juan Miguel Elorde on the undercard of Fury Whalen.
Wallen,
whatever. They're trying to make people care about this card. We don't. No one cares about it. You just cancel it, please.
No, you haven't read the other fight that's on the card.
What, the Pedraza Cepeda fight? No, I'm like, that's a good fight. Like, don't get me wrong, that's a good fight, but it doesn't make me care about the main event.
It doesn't make me want to buy the pay-per-view. Just block that glove out there.
Jay Willits, I haven't seen Jay Willits in a long time, saying worst card of all time. Yeah, It's up there. It's up there. Because maybe, like, Fury's one of those things, like, it's now a compounding effect. With each and every bad matchup he has, it gets worse and worse, right? Like, for the fighter that occasionally has a bad matchup and an occasional tune-up or showcase fight, we groan and we kind of just move on. But with Fury, it's now becoming such a routine thing that we react to it far worse than the average top-level guy facing a quote, bum, right? So, at what point is there this collision course where the fans just outright boycott or just, like, riot in the streets when it comes to Tyson Fury's matchmaking decisions? I don't know. It's up there for worst cards, at least of the year, for sure. ESPN has had some really bad cards this year, though. Like the Oscar Valdez card that was in, like, May, right? Remember that card?
No,
No, you don't.
don't worry about it. But yeah,
It was his first fight back from obviously the Scott Quigg injury, right?
yeah.
And the card was trash, and it was on ESPN. Like, it was on ESPN, and it was a trash card. It wasn't buried on ESPN Plus with the other filth. Nope, it was on ESPN, put out on Front Street, and it looked bad. So I don't know.
Shout out to Coach Moody trying to figure out ESPN Plus on his US visit. He couldn't find it on the app anywhere.
It's rough, man. It's rough in these streets. But moving on, let's get to our last topic of the day. And let's get to callers, 323-8704-051. Press 1 to get in the queue. And this really isn't a topic, per se. Because, like, there's no substance to this.
It's just fun.
It's just fun. It's little bands. Eddie Hearn. Leonard Ellerbe has turned into quite a bitter man. Let's play the audio, because it is better listening to it than just me reading it in a dramatic voice, even though, I'll be honest, I almost did that anyways.
Jose Ramirez just did it. Bob Arum let him do it. He come back with 2 belts. You know, if Gervonta's as good as he says he is, and he's a good fighter, he comes back to Showtime with 2 belts.
How was the line of communication with Floyd Mayweather?
Pretty poor. I mean, I always email Leonard Ellerbe and say, here's 3 million, here's 4 million, here's 5 million. I don't really get a reply. I think I got 1 reply once. Leonard Ellerbe is turned into quite a bitter man, right? Because I look at my Twitter, he's liking all the criticism about me.
Well, he calls it the dead zone.
He calls it dead zone. What Leonard Ellerbe's become is a hater, right? He's always talked about haters and how bad they are. Why would Leonard Ellerbe hate on a platform that is giving fighters the opportunity to make career high paydays to box more often than they've ever boxed before? Leonard Ellerbe should know better. He should be actively encouraging DAZN to pay fighters great money. When I look at Showtime, I'm not criticising Showtime. I'm not criticising Fox or ESPN. I think they're brilliant. I think any platform that is investing in the sport of boxing and letting fighters in this very, very dangerous sport earn this kind of money should be encouraged. So why is he trying to put down DAZN? Is he scared? Is he just a hater? What's happened to him? Leonard Ellerbe, all these cameras here, I'm appealing to you, my friend. We want the old Leonard Ellerbe back. Where have you gone? Don't sit behind your keyboard liking people tweeting bad things. What's happened to you? You're a stylish dude with nice jackets. I've seen you wear crocodile shoes, nice Cartier sunglasses. Leonard Ellerbe, you're a cool guy. Don't be a hater. What's the matter with you?
Now, several key points in that rant that I want to just highlight. A, how he ended that rant with love. You gotta do that when you be petty. If you want to be petty out there to someone that you have to work with eventually, end the petty rant with some compliments. It does help. Second, gator shoes are funny. Third, the fact that he had the audacity to say, "I've never criticized Showtime and Fox," is like,
I think they're brilliant.
That is so on brand to Eddie to just be like, "I've never done this thing that I've done so much in the last 5 years, and that's on document all over YouTube." No, I haven't done that. Elder, why are you doing this thing that I do too?
Send me the link. I don't know what you're on about. Lies.
Oh man, Eddie, that was great. And honestly, I love the beef between him and Ellerbe. And honestly, the only reason why I really deal with it is because A, it is kind of funny, and B, I don't think it really hinders a Davis Farmer fight from happening. While I do think certain other like promoter beefs do hinder fights happening, this one seems really contrived and fake. Even though it's funny to me, like it seems kind of put on for the media. So I assume that this isn't an issue. Like they might have issues doing business together, but it's not because of these type of rants and these type of quotes in the media from both Ellerbe and obviously Eddie Hearn. Because I mean, Ellerbe's been out there saying, "Hate on what? Everybody's laughing at you." Quote. Which is pretty good. So it's just, again, I find it fun, and I also think that doesn't hinder this big negotiation that's going on behind the scene. If it did, I would have a different opinion about it.
The only thing that hinders this fight happening is that Showtime, I'm sure, will not allow. Because what if Tank Davis goes over to DAZN, I think Espinosa will have a heart attack. I think.
I do too. I think that would damage Al and Showtime's relationship more than anything.
Yeah, and that's got band-aids on it already, right? So
yeah,
slightly. I don't know.
No, it does. I mean, I was about to say a statement that might not be true. It might just be me just talking my ass. But if I'm Showtime, I might be a little bit more upset about losing Gervonta than Wilder at this point. Because Wilder's getting to that point where he's so big that you kind of are going to lose him. He's going to do his own thing regardless.
Yeah.
Gervonta is this new guy still in the scene. He's 22, 23 years old. He's still very young. The amount of investment they put into him already and the amount of years they can get out of him is a lot different compared to Deontay Wilder. And plus the Mayweather connection with Showtime having such a tight relationship with Mayweather. I think that Showtime would be more peeved about losing Davis than Wilder now. And that might be wrong, but it might be true. I don't know. I mean, that might just be me talking about my ass.
Look, Ellaby, off the back of all this, has been arguing with absolutely everybody. I mean, Eddie's right. He's been disliking everything, putting likes on certain people's messages, and
what? Who?
Huh?
Who?
What do you mean? Who?
Like, who's he liking? Like, who? Like, what?
So, I don't know. The usual candidates, and it's getting that thumbs up like or a retweet, and it's, no one watches DAZN, no one's got and it's that usual stuff. And he's been arguing with everybody, and people have been coming back, well, it was good enough for Ramirez. He went back, come and got $4 million and another bout and went back to his network. What's the problem? And he's like, and then he's talking A-sides, and people say, no one's arguing who the A-side is in that fight. But, can it happen? But I like I say, I think this is definitely a case of if the fight's going to happen, it's going to have to happen on Showtime. And Ellaby's out there telling him the same old thing we've heard for years. He's the next pay-per-view star. Who's he going to fight on pay-per-view?
I wonder how fast this fight would be made if Eddie and Farmer and DAZN just went to Heyman and Showtime and said, "Hey, let's put the fight on your network." Like, how fast would they be? Okay, let's do it. How fast would those negotiations go?
I know, the comments about the 2 million is slightly before that clip I sent you, but 2 million. We're not interested in the $2 million that they offered Tevin, who, by the way, is now a network free agent. He has had his last fight on DAZN. I think they're looking to lock him down again for another 3 or whatever, or maybe it'll be fight, but I don't know. But I know he said, I like Tevin.
Quick question. Is Lou DiBella still co-promoting Tevin Farmer?
Yes.
Okay. I was curious about that.
It might not happen because Lou and Al.
Yeah, but
business is business, right? So
I'll put it this way. I've heard things that's sort of mending. I've just heard whispers. I put that way.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, so that might be interesting. But if DAZN are really there offering Tank, what were they offering Farmer for that fight, right? So I mean, Eddie's answer to all this is him and Floyd get together in a room, agree on what the split is. He said, don't get me wrong, Davis is the A side. He's does the better numbers, does the better ticket sales. So he's the A side, no problem. In my mind, it's 60-40. Both, champions, whatever. And we get in a room, we do closed bids there and then. Highest bidder gets the fight. He said, whether they go for that, I don't know. But yeah, we can discuss that. If they don't agree at 60-40, we can discuss that. So I don't know.
If the sanction bodies did their fucking job, they would order that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or if we had just a singular sanction body, that would happen. But anyways, digressing from this,
champions from different divisions, right? So different bodies. So
Eddie, Ellerby, you guys, fantastic attempt at the Pettyweight Championship of the world. I still think that championship goes to Oscar De La Hoya. But digressing from that,
oh yeah,
come on. Come on. Let's go out to callers. Let's go out to Gary in Dallas. Again, 323-870-4051. Press 1 to get in the queue. International caller, Skype, Mixed Combat Radio. Also, go check out our Trending Now Network channel on YouTube. Just did a podcast like yesterday or 2 days ago about the Spider-Man and MCU Marvel divorce. Me and Rob's going to make his debut on the channel. We'll be doing a show maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day, about this week for sure, about all of these Star Wars news, trailers that have dropped. It's just been a glorious day. Stormtroopers' heads on spikes. I mean, I'm happy. I'm a happy man when I see that. I'm easy.
Oh, for the Mandalorian.
Oh, I'm easy going. I see that, I am sold.
Yeah, I like the extra trailer that you sent for the Star Wars movie. So.
Oh, that was good. That new trailer that dropped.
Yeah.
So much to talk about. But anyways, we're gonna do that probably another time.
Let's talk about Gary's hype train beating up an old guy.
Yes. Heavy D saying cover the boys. You know what, Heavy D? I will actually. I'll go do a boys review later today. Heavy D. Don't worry about that. I actually was thinking about that. Great show on Amazon. If you haven't seen it yet, go check it out. Also, there's a few other things I want to do. I want to do an MMA show today as well with the Max Holloway Volkanovski news. There's a lot of content I want to do in the next 24 hours, so just keep an eye out for both Trending Now Network and Mixed Combat Radio.
Classy John Jones tweet as well.
Yeah, man. Shout out to John Jones for that classy tweet to Dana Cormier, who lost his father today due to cancer. Fuck cancer. I mean, we can all probably agree on that sentiment. All of us from all walks of life. Fuck cancer. And our hearts and prayers go out to Daniel Cormier going through that. Let's go out to Gary in Dallas. Gary, what's up? Oh, hold on. Sorry, you're muted on my mixer. Hold on. Now you're unmuted. Hi, Gary.
What's going on, fellas? How you doing, Rob?
Hello, Gary.
I'm good, too.
The anti-Texas hate is strong today, Matt.
What?
I said Juarez. He looks the goods. Look at that. He's a Texan boy.
We gave props to Figueroa got placement before champions that fought this weekend.
Yeah, but you said it looked like a young kid beating up an old guy in the street.
Because it did. Figueroa was way too good for this fight.
It's not even in the title of your show. It was, I don't even know. I fell asleep waiting.
He's going to click that.
I don't even know how deep you were into the show till you even mentioned it. Right?
It was the third topic.
The third topic. And that's
it was the third fight card. We opened up with fight cards.
Yes.
We've done an order of relevance.
Yeah, I mean, I think Kovalev is more important than Figueroa. I think Estrada is more important than Figueroa. Hell, I even think Kose Tanaka is too. But you know what? Credit to you. I put Figueroa ahead of him.
You did have two top 10 pound-for-pound guys fighting in Estrada and Tanaka, and a future Hall of Famer in Kovalev. That being said, yeah, why do you think it's not a busy weekend of fights? You had two top 10 pound-for-pound guys and a future Hall of Famer all fighting this weekend. But never mind that. Figueroa still got to go first. To quote Ray Boom Boom Mancini, he's the future of boxing.
Did he really say that?
When did he say that?
He said it twice. He said
How old was that quote?
That was
in the beginning of the telecast.
Saturday.
He said it twice.
On the telecast.
Oh, dear.
Twice.
I've heard mixed reports on Boom Boom.
Every time I watch Virgil Ortiz, I think Virgil Ortiz is the best prospect of the sport. And then I watch Brandon Figueroa, and it's clearly Brandon Figueroa. And I can't decide who's the best prospect in the sport. I think it's Brandon Figueroa. But
Does that count? Does that count as sports washing?
Yeah, actually, better question is from Jay Willits to you, Rob. Matt and Rob, are you going to do a Ben Stokes review? I don't know what that is, but I think that has something to do with the sport you were watching last night.
Yes, it was, Matt.
Yes.
Wow, you're a little detective.
Was that cricket? Was it cricket?
It was.
Yeah, look at me. Look at me, guys. I'm so proud of myself.
The most important thing on the planet right now, England versus Australia, the cricket.
Well, I'll put it this way. Jay Willits, Rob can definitely do a video on that we can put on Trending Now Network. Rob just has to do the video on it.
That's trending now still in the UK.
Yeah, go do a video on it, Rob.
Phenomenal. I will. Just to, if we've got any Australian listeners. Oh, brilliant. But yeah, Gary, Sorry to interrupt your hero about cricket.
Yeah, I mean, was there anything not to absolutely love about Figueroa's performance? I mean, it was one of the best
His opponent.
I'd ever seen.
Yeah, his opponent.
The matchmaking.
That's about it.
The venue.
The venue was fine.
The
Where was
venue.
it?
I don't know.
They had
Texas somewhere.
9,000 in there. He drew a bigger crowd in his hometown than Hooker drew for a unification fight. Think about that. Like the venue, when you go down, he lives in the valley, which is like right on the border of Mexico, and there's not much down there. But they love boxing. Like the entire valley was probably in that building that night. But the crowd was really good, like really good. For like, it's not in a city. It's like a bunch of small towns that are separated by like miles and miles and miles of nothingness, right? Like to draw that many people into that venue, that's a feat. You know, the kid's got star power. But there's so many more gears to Brandon Figueroa. Like, obviously, when I say Brandon Figueroa, you're going to compare him to Omar Figueroa, right? Like, that's the natural comparison.
Yeah.
But there's so much, stylistically they're similar, but there's so many more gears to Brandon Figueroa. The head movement, the ability to slip punches. He's way faster. He uses his jab way better. Switching from righty to southpaw all the time. There's so many more gears. I don't know how you beat this guy. It's like, how do you guard LeBron James? I don't know, right? Like, or how do you stop Kobe Bryant? You really can't. Like, that's what you have in this kid. There's so many gears and so many wonderful things.
Wait. Did you just compare Brandon Figueroa to Kobe Bryant
and LeBron James?
And LeBron James.
Yeah. Gary has one every show, right? One of these statements.
Gary, why don't you just compare him to like Gandhi and Jesus Christ next?
Oh, that's Ben Stokes.
After the fight, I went up to Mancini. I asked him, what could he have done better? And Mancini said nothing. It was an A+ performance. There's nothing he can do better. It's just more of it.
Well, yeah, because look at his opponent. Yeah, he had a great performance against Javier Chacon. Cool.
A rugged veteran, a good fighter. See, like when Devin Haney knocks out Antonio Moran, that's awesome. That's great stuff. That's the lead.
That's awesome.
But when Brandon Figueroa knocks out Chacon, that's no good. But like Antonio Moran is some noteworthy opponent that Devin Haney knocked out.
First off, Gary, you're making an argument about this Devin Haney comparison. I haven't talked about Devin Haney, and you know for a fact Devin Haney is not on my like top 3 prospect list in the U.S. Secondly, Gary,
Haney is a matchroom fighter, so
that's a good one. Haney showed improvement in that fight, like his killer instinct, his willingness to throw with power. That was improvements. We really didn't see improvements in Figueroa in this fight. It was the same as what we've seen before, which is really great stuff, but nothing new. You understand what I'm saying? Like Devin Haney was on a stretch of decisions before that knockout, so it is different because we saw improvement.
Okay, so you're saying he's already a 10. So the fact that he didn't go to a 10.1, which isn't even possible on a scale of 10, therefore
that's not what I'm saying.
Not worth mentioning.
That's not what I'm saying. I like how you flip that, but that's not what I'm saying. But you know what I'm saying, Gary. It's okay. I like the bit, but you know what I'm saying.
I get it, but I don't, right? Like, he needs to show improvement, right? And it wasn't just my eyes. It was Mancini's eyes, too. Given his style, what does he need to improve on? Like, what
Gary, this is where we fall back to what me and Rob said at the very start. Look at his opponent. The improvements we want to see from him, this opponent could never have showed us. This was a showcase fight. That's what it was. You know, if he fought Stephen Fulton, we would see, can he cut off the ring? You know, does he have a great gas tank? Can he go a full 12 rounds at that pace? Those are things we do not know yet.
I would love for that fight to happen. I think the world of Stephen Fulton too. I think Stephen Fulton is awesome, right? But it looked like. Did you get to watch Fulton's fight, or did you only watch?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Okay, he seemed, and maybe that he doesn't like it when you put the pressure on him to get physical with him. Right?
Yeah, I'd probably pick
And
Figueroa to beat Fulton. Yeah.
We haven't seen Figueroa fight a mover yet either. We haven't seen him fight an athletic fighter who's a mover like Fulton. So I think both guys need that fight to silence any criticism against them, right? Like the guy Fulton fought was outclassed, but Fulton didn't like it when he was being pushed around and he was, having to be in a scrap. He didn't seem to like that, right? And if he fought Figueroa, that's Figueroa's whole game plan. Flip that around. Figueroa has been matched carefully. I can't think of one mover, one slick boxer he's been in the ring yet.
His best names are Escadon and Flores, and both guys are come forward
fighters.
Yeah, come forward volume guys.
Right, and the Chacon is the same thing, but not as good as those guys. So Chacon was going to be a punching bag. That's granted. They got to put a mover in front of him and see how he does, right? Because he says he can make 122, but he's struggling to make it. So I don't really know what that means. That sounds like you're about to go to 126. If he goes up to 126, there's Gary Russell Jr. waiting for him. You're going to have to learn how to, fight a guy who can move. Eventually, you're going to take him out of his comfort zone, right? Like,
at least he's got a year to do it.
What was that?
He's got a year to learn how to do that, though.
I think he's ready for anyone. He's ranked number 1 by the WBA, right? He hasn't been mandated yet or anything like that, but he's ranked number 1 by the WBA. He fights Daniel Roman next. Who wins?
Daniel Roman.
Oh, stop. That's the anti-text. Why? Because he beat the Australian kid?
No, it's just common, knowledge.
First off, Roman is more of a two-way player. Like, he can go backwards and forward and fight. Figueroa has never fought going backwards in his entire professional career. Has not faced anyone that is in their prime. That's a great athlete with great power, great boxing ability, like Daniel Roman.
Roman, a matchroom fighter.
So, Gary, I would pick Daniel Roman to beat Figueroa right now. Absolutely.
3, he's awesome.
The greatness.
I'll be honest, I think Figueroa has a better chance against Ray Vargas than Roman.
No, I do too. If I could pick any fighter, I would pick Vargas because I think he would beat the hell out of him. I think Vargas is the weak link in that weight class. I'm not a big fan of Vargas.
I think, I'll be honest, except for Canelo and Virgil Ortiz, all of Golden Boy's stable is suspect. Look at Machado. Look at Ray Vargas. Like, these guys.
What about Lamont Roach? Are you a fan of Lamont Roach?
I don't think he's going to be the next best thing. I think he's going to be a perennial top 15-ish, top 20 guy.
Yeah, that's not good. Those don't make it. Do you think he beats Jamel Herring in November?
I don't know. That's a tough fight because I'm not the highest on Jamel Herring either, to be quite honest. I probably pick Herring because of the experience, but that's a tough fight. I don't know. Neither guy is that impressive to me.
I'm kind of in the same place, but Roach. I think he's good. I don't think he's a
he's no phenom.
So what you're saying is there's nothing Figueroa could have done better. You just weren't impressed because you didn't like his opponent.
No, I am saying that because the opponent, Figueroa wasn't given the opportunity to show if he has improved, what he has improved on, etc. That's my point. You put him in there with a live body, we're gonna see if he's good or not. We're gonna see if he can cut off the ring. We're gonna see if he can box going backwards. Those are things that are quite important.
We're just pointing stuff out, Gary. It's not any kind of Texan hate angle going on here. All right, don't worry about it. It's good.
But fuck Texas.
Hey Matt, what do you think of Tanahara?
Oh, we've talked about Tanahara before. I think Ryan Garcia beats him.
Okay, what do you think of Mario Barrios?
I like Mario Barrios. I need to see more though.
Okay, how good?
I don't think he's been pushed fast enough.
Did you watch the Omar Juarez fight?
Yeah.
The first fight.
Yeah.
What do you think of that kid?
That kid's good.
I know he's Florida cab driver.
No, but he's only like 4 or 5 fights, so like that's okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But damn, I got heavy Virgil Ortiz vibes.
Yeah.
Domestic level fight. That's what Ritson was doing, right?
You haven't seen it yet, but he's got excellent boxing skills. So he hasn't had to show them yet because of his level of competition. But he's not just a come forward puncher. That kid's a slick boxer too. Like, if you said to me who's going to be the best of this young stable of Texas fighters, I would put my money on Omar Juarez. That's how good I think that kid is. But we got to see it, right? Like, he's fighting cab drivers right now because he only had, this was his 4th fight? Yeah,
I think so. 5th or 4th or something like that.
5th? Yeah. But that kid's electric. And you said you would pick Figueroa to beat Stephen Fulton.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. How about Shakur Stevenson?
No, I think Shakur wins. Come on.
Whack. Rob?
Shakur.
Easy win too.
99 times out of 100.
Okay. I get Matt because Matt thinks Shakur Stevenson's like the best prospect in the sport.
He is.
But like,
Hmm.
I think Brandon Figueroa is, so we'll agree to disagree. But like,
Shakur is bigger than him, stronger than him, more proven than him, bigger weight class than him.
I don't agree with any of those 3 things you just said. He's not taller than him. I don't know.
Did I say taller? Did I say taller? I said bigger.
You said bigger. But, okay.
Mass. Big is mass. That's mass.
Isn't he 4 pounds bigger?
Yeah. He fights at 4 pounds a higher weight class.
Mm-hmm.
But
so he's bigger.
Is Manny Pacquiao as big as Errol Spence and Danny Garcia?
No, but they're in the same weight class, so we can have that argument.
Figueroa has fought at 126 in the past, has he not? Am I wrong about that?
Okay. You want me to look right now? I'm on him right now. He weighed in he weighed in 120 pounds, 121, 123, 120, 126, 124, 123, 128. You have 128 fight.
There you go.
That's it.
Okay. Like, I don't know that Shakur Stevenson is any bigger than Brandon Figueroa.
He is.
Even though they're fighting 4 pounds apart.
He is. You know how you know? It's because when Christopher Diaz, a 130-pounder, moved down to 126, Shakur Stevenson was a giant compared to him. And you know what? I might actually go on the limb and say Shakur might be taller than him too. Figueroa's 5'9". Shakur might be 5'10", 5'11".
I can't see him. Is he that tall?
He's a tall dude. I'll look it up right now. I'm looking up right now for you.
For a featherweight, real tall.
I'm gonna try to beat Rob to it. Fuck you, Rob. Fuck you, Rob. God,
he's 5'8".
He beat me to it by a nanosecond. By a nanosecond, Rob. He's 5'8".
If you look at Shakur Stevenson's photo, if he just grows that out a little bit more,
he's 5'9".
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends where you measure him, right?
And okay, like I know this is gonna be like, no, fuck it, it's Shakur. Are they using his mugshot on BoxRec?
Like it, right?
I'm just like, he looks way too upset in this picture.
I'm gonna Photoshop him holding up the the number and shit.
Like I know like Gray Johnson over there. He's a little bit of a funny guy. He might have done that. I'm just saying, but it looks like his mugshot, which would be really messed up but funny.
Yeah, well.
But Gary, back to you. Shakur is a bigger guy in terms of mass. I think he can definitely match him in terms of height. He's an inch off, in terms of height. Probably has, if not the same amount of reach, close enough, if not more. The only difference would be is that you might argue that Figueroa is the heavier hitter, but that's mainly just due to Figueroa fighting lesser competition.
And you're aware of all the extra gears, right? Like the big differences in between the Figueroa brothers. That Brandon is a much better boxer, a much better jabber, much better head movement, slips punches much better than Omar, who was a walking heavy bag for the most part, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah, I've said time and time again, Gary, you know me. I've said time and time again, Brandon has a far bigger ceiling than Omar ever did.
If I could make any fight, and this is why I would never be a matchmaker, I would want to make Shakur Stevenson versus Brandon Figueroa, just to show everyone in the world I'm right.
Okay.
I know Figueroa would beat him. Like, there's not a doubt in my mind Figueroa would beat him. Or Ray Vargas, which is the fight I really want to see.
All right, Gary, who do you think beats Figueroa right now? That may be a better question because you might have less names that you might mention. Who beats him?
A new way.
Wilder.
Okay, so you think Inoue is going to move up in weight again and beat him? That's one guy. Leo Santa Cruz, Gary Russell Jr., Oscar Valdez, Josh Warrington, Guillermo Rigondeaux, Emmanuel Navarrete. You think all those guys lose to Figueroa?
I can't pick anyone to beat Figueroa outside of Inoue right now. Santa Cruz, that's a lot of fun. I would love to see that fight. That's the fight I would love to make. Could Santa Cruz beat him? Sure. I mean, that's certainly possible. Could Warrington beat him? That's certainly possible. Although, like, that would be like 200 punches around. I would love to see any of those fights, but I think Brandon could win any of those fights. I don't think he'd be outmatched or outgunned by any of those guys.
Okay, so I felt like you just said a lot of words that weren't really meaningful. So again, those names, who do you think beats Figueroa?
No one at 122.
So Navarrete, Guillermo Rigondeaux, they all lose. Okay, 126. Gary Russell Jr., Leo Santa Cruz, Oscar Valdez, Josh Warrington.
He beats Valdez. Are you behind that? Because you hate Valdez.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that, Gary. I'm okay with that. We can share in that hate.
The rest of those names, and I think he beats Abner Mares.
I might agree with that too.
The rest of those names are tough. I don't think he could beat Santa Cruz or Russell right now.
He can't.
Josh Warrington, I don't think so.
Yeah, he can't either.
At 26,
yeah.
At 26, those guys are established 26-pounders. Russell can pop too. Like, Russell doesn't get enough credit for his power because he doesn't look to sit down and really take people out, but he's got good stamina.
We just forget because it's like 12 months between seeing it.
Yeah, there's that too. He only fights once a year. Warrington would be a lot of fun. I think he could beat Warrington because they would sit there and trade, and he's got a lot more pop than Warrington does. So I'd probably pick him to beat Warrington too because he's a bigger puncher. But that's a lot of fun. So I think he cleans out 22 and the top three names at 26. I don't know if he's ready for those guys.
Okay, I was like doing something on the back end. Did he really just say what the fuck I think he just said? Gary, did you wait? You think Figueroa beats Josh Warrington? Did you say that?
Because he hits harder.
I think so. I would pick him to beat Warrington, yeah. And I'm not totally confident in that because I like Warrington. I think Warrington's excellent, but I think Brandon Figueroa is that good.
Rob, let me speak to Rob right now for a second, Gary. Hold on. Rob, I am so sorry for ever coming at you for being biased. It is nothing close to Gary's bias towards Figueroa and Texas fighters. Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. I apologize to you, Rob. Back to you, Gary.
It's all right. I was going to say you're welcome.
You're welcome.
So,
you're welcome.
Okay. So Warrington beats stylistically. Tell me what that looks like. How does Warrington beat Brandon Figueroa? Volume? That
yeah.
Doesn't seem likely.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. It does seem likely.
He's gonna throw more punches and land more punches than Brandon Figueroa.
Yep.
I think that's a losing bet.
That's really not, if you look at the numbers.
He's going to sit there and trade with Figueroa. And
Yeah.
outwork him.
Yeah.
He'll get knocked out if he does that.
Okay.
Here's some leads. Doesn't matter how hard Figueroa can hit. Leads greater than Texas.
Oh my God.
That is certainly not true. Texas is the greatest country in the world with the greatest fighters. Oh, and the greatest football players. Which, by the way, when you were talking about last year during the Heisman game, during the Heisman show, it was the Loma versus Pedraza fight. And if you remember, Teofimo Lopez scored a ridiculous knockout and broke out the Kyler Murray jersey and did the Heisman pose.
That's right. Yeah.
So it was. Yeah. They've had Loma fight on both of those Heisman days, and I think that those both fights have done their biggest number. So it's ESPN is sticking with it. They're going to put the fight in New York.
Which fight does the bigger numbers, Gary? Hurd Williams,
Which one?
Yeah, Hurd Williams or Williams Hurd, whatever, or the Crawford Kavalauskas Teofimo Kome card, which.
Oh, sorry.
Whoa.
Sorry.
The Hurd fight has an unfair advantage because it's on free TV as opposed to ESPN, so it has a bigger natural market. I'll say that does a bigger number, but I think it's going to be close. I think if they were both on free television, the Crawford fight would do a bigger number.
But even with the Heisman thing lead into the Crawford?
No, that's going to help because a ton of people are going to have that on, and then they're just going to leave the fight on. So that helps. But the other fight's on free TV, so it's in so many more. Matt has those numbers. He knows, what are there, 110 million households that have
near 120 now.
Free TV.
Near 120 now.
120?
Yeah, near 120. ESPN would be around 85 million at this point in time.
No. Tyson Fury said it would be in 300 million homes across America.
Gary, I mean, you have to admit, Crawford Benavidez is a fight that had seemingly no build-up, really. Like, it kind of just happened, a fight that no one really asked for, a fight that none of us in the community were really hyped for. That did over 2 million viewers average in terms of the whole telecast.
What did the first Hurd Williams fight do?
In terms of the entire telecast average, I think it was like 1.7 million, 1.8 million.
Oh, wow. Okay, it didn't even break 2?
Not for the entire telecast. For the main event, it did, but not for the entire telecast, no.
The Crawford fight's going to do a high number. I changed my mind. I thought the Hurd fight did that number.
I can recheck that really fast, though, to make people happier. I normally get...
If it was that close on its own, no, I think Crawford does a high number. Which one will you watch live, Matt?
I'll be honest. We might be smart about it and just do a live fight chat for Richard Coleman, Teofimo Lopez. Stop that and then switch over to Fox and then do a live fight chat for Hurd Williams. Because Hurd Williams is the best fight of those two cards.
It for sure is. But the thing is, like, Crawford, it's like, would you rather watch LeBron play the Knicks or would you rather watch, give me two good teams,
Milwaukee Bucks versus somebody.
The Raptors, the Bucks. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I kind of want to watch LeBron. I kind of want to watch Crawford.
Nah, I'm good. I am so intrigued by the Julian Williams renaissance we're seeing right now. So, but that's purely me talking. I agree with you that I think more people will watch Crawford fight.
But you're more into, because you really already know Crawford's going to win, right? We know that Crawford's going to win every round. The only question is, does he knock him out? If so, what round? Hurd Williams, we don't know who's going to win. I mean, I think Williams fought the fight of his life, and Hurd will beat him in a rematch. But I don't know that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's a thing to come with Williams. He's going to be an elite 154-pounder. Like, maybe he's fixed whatever problems he had, and Fredman's got him ringing on all cylinders. And I don't know, right? But I never thought that highly of J-Rock. And I thought he just kind of fought the fight of his life. He got the knockdown early. He got the momentum on his side, and won the fight, but if they fought again, Hurd would beat him. But maybe not. Maybe J-Rock is better than we all thought. Maybe whatever problems he was having, those are fixed. So it is a much more intriguing fight than I think Crawford beat up on Kavasakis.
Agreed on all parts. Anything else, Gary?
That, and I'm with Ray Mancini. Brandon Figueroa is the future of boxing.
Thank you for the call, Gary. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Gary. It's a shame Kid Galahad beats Figueroa, isn't it?
Santiago, press 1 if you want to get in the queue, man. You've been slacking on that, Santi. You got to press 1. We're going to go to this breaking news topic, but not really. Right? Would you describe this as breaking news? It's just more of a confirmation from mainstream reporters of what we've all been discussing for some time now. We've done several videos on it at this point in time. But Lance Pugmire and Mike Coppinger, obviously of The Athletic, obviously on their own podcast, came out and talked about Wilder Ortiz, too, potentially going to Fox and what that could mean going forward. Now, Rob, I'm like 30 seconds ahead of that timestamp you told me. That should be an issue, right? Are you pretty sure on that timestamp? Because I have not heard this part yet.
It said ish. I've got associate producers helping me out here.
So what up, lunatic? Thank you, man.
November 23rd and in Las Vegas. The question is, who's going to do that pay-per-view? Is it going to be Fox or Showtime? You and I both know that the Wild...
Wow, for somebody that just... I randomly clicked the time. That was the perfect random spot to end up on the show. I got to say, just shout out to me. Randomly picking that timestamp. All right, sorry, back to Mike Coppinger and Pugmire.
Their Fury rematch is going to be a joint pay-per-view between ESPN and Fox. Mm-hmm. Even if Showtime claims that they're still in the running for it, they're not. It's going to be a Fox ESPN joint pay-per-view. That's no knock on Showtime. It's just that the PBC and ESPN are going with Fox, which has the greater audience and the greater reach. But does that affect who's going to show the Ortiz fight? If you're Showtime, do you really want to show the Ortiz fight knowing that you're not going to get the bigger payoff?
I think if you're Showtime, you could actually, because I think just me and you talking about where the Wilder Fury fight should be televised, putting it on ESPN and Fox makes all the sense in the world. It is smart business sense. There's no way you can make the case that having it be Showtime over Fox for that fight is a smart move. But I will say this. PBC, in my opinion, they owe Showtime some loyalty here. I mean, Showtime clearly wants the Wilder Ortiz fight. They've been a good soldier in working with Al Heyman to promote his fighters throughout. Yes, they have had, cheaper license fees than maybe some other networks would get for some of the PBC fights. But Steven Espinoza and Showtime have been there for Al Heyman. And for him to turn his back at this hour and say, hey, we're going to go to Fox because basically we know that Fox has more money right now and it's a greater platform for our fighters. I'm telling you this, I know this for a fact. They are at risk of losing Showtime if they make that move. And that's going to be a very, very big boxing business drama that we need to be all over, because everything is going to change if PBC announces that Wilder Ortiz is going to Fox.
Exactly. And look, Al Heyman needs Showtime right now. Forget loyalty. Yes, Steven Espinoza and Showtime helps keep PBC afloat during those lean years. But aside from that, Fox is giving...
So, pretty sure we heard all we needed to hear from that.
Yeah, probably too much.
Nah, they're fine. Don't worry about it.
Paywall content, brilliant. Live for free.
Sorry. Welcome to the media. Fair Use Act, 1977. But moving on, I just think that, to be honest, that's not news. Like, it's just a confirmation of what we know.
Yeah, but I don't know that we knew for a fact, blah, 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 That's like, how do you know something for a fact? Because you think it or you've been told it, sources. So, yeah, as much as we're thinking it, that's kind of just reaffirmed it with what seems to be actual factual information. So
yeah, and I mean,
but they're right. Why would Showtime think, yeah, we'll do the Wilder fight, but what, the next one's not on here, so we're going to spend all this money promoting to not get the rewards of the bigger fight that's coming in February-ish.
Yeah, it makes complete sense. I mean, again, we've made several videos already. Go check them out on the channel. But like, it'd just be us rehashing the same talking points that they kind of said already, and kind of perfectly. Like, Showtime at this point in the year has not really gotten great viewership, not really gotten great fights, and they blew their budget on Wilder Brazil. So
the only thing scheduled at the moment, Shields and her opponent.
Yes, but there are 0 PBC fights on the schedule for Showtime right now. So I don't see a future of PBC with Showtime. I'm just being honest. I don't. I see Showtime having to readjust to it. That we thought, we being Showtime, Fox, PBC, and us, everyone included in the community, we thought it was going to be much more of a 50-50 share of fighters with Showtime and Fox.
Rotation. It'd be like rotation, you know?
And we heard that the budgets were relatively similar for both networks to PBC, so it made sense that, relatively speaking, they would receive similar schedules. But the exact opposite of that happened once Fox started getting really good viewership. Pay-per-view numbers were just blockbuster after blockbuster. And I don't see why, if you're Al Heyman and PBC, you're thinking of Showtime as a priority. You don't. You think of Fox as a priority. You're going to put your biggest names, your best fights on Fox pay-per-view. You are. And I mean, I've been saying this for some time as well. I catch it obviously also on the last MMA show we had when I had Jason Burgos on the show, but we talked about Showtime getting Bellator, getting the TV rights to Bellator, because Viacom, who owns, or I should say is a majority owner of Bellator, which is an MMA promotion, also is currently through a merging process with CBS. So it's very possible we could see MMA back on Showtime more so than high-level boxing, to be quite honest, because, again, it seems that more and more likely we're heading towards a PBC and Fox relationship, and Showtime is not a priority. Rob, any last points about this? Any final thoughts at all? It's time to head out here.
Yeah, like I say, we're monetary-wise and eyes and whatever. I mean, Espinoza said it himself. If it's good for the sport, then unfortunately, if it's great for the sport, at the moment, it doesn't appear to mean that's on your network. So, I don't know. Little rocky time ahead. I'm not sure what will happen. I mean, is Showtime, they broadcast other sports? Is there?
Not really. No. They used to. They used to.
Yeah. So, I guess time will tell on Showtime boxing and what happens there. But, yeah, interesting. I always thought, how are they going to, one promotional company with 2 networks in the same country? I don't know. It didn't quite make sense to me.
I mean, it happens for other sports, obviously. Like, bigger sports do it, right? Like, I would assume that that's not a foreign concept to you guys in the UK. I would assume that certain FIFA leagues have multiple sort of network deals at times.
Yeah, but like, I mean, like in boxing, it's like if
it's harder to do, of course, it is, because the stables are smaller, the athletes are smaller. Of course, no.
Sky Sports and BT Sport. I don't know. And
but mainstream sports, that is a norm. You know what I mean? Like,
but that's a division within a sport, if you know what I mean. Whereas the Premier League, some games are on BT, some games are on Sky.
No, I understand why it's more feasible for mainstream sports. I'm not disputing that. I agree with you on that. My point is that it does happen for mainstream sports to have multiple networks within one country. I think PBC they went from having not enough dates to having way too many.
Yeah, but I think my point is boxing can be on loads of channels, but I'm talking like, say, for other mainstream sports then, so like I don't know, Manchester United having an exclusive deal with Sky Sports, and Manchester United also doing some matches for BT Sport. That's the difference.
I'm telling you that in the U.S., you see teams go from network to network. You're going to see the Warriors on one day in the week play on TNT. You're going to see on 1 week or on the next day in the week play on ESPN. The next day play on CBS. You're going to see that.
Yes, because you're say like I don't know, the basketball league has.
All right.
The sport has multiple, but
Rob,
we're talking about
Rob. Your point, Rob.
Sport.
Okay, we're saying the same thing. You don't understand that. It's hilarious.
You're not.
No. Rob, let me help you here. Okay. You are saying that yes, all like FIFA has multiple TV right deals in the UK or the Premier League, or in the US would be the NFL or the NBA. In boxing, of course, boxing has multiple TV right deals, but Matchroom doesn't specifically. Top Rank doesn't usually specifically. You know, you're talking about that, right? And your point is that obviously these bigger entities can do it because A, they have thousands of athletes compared to 100 or so, right? Like FIFA League has how many thousands of athletes in it. NFL has how many thousands of athletes in it. How many teams. The infrastructure is completely different. We're saying the same thing. I'm saying that PBC mistakenly thought they can match other mainstream sports and have multiple TV right deals in one country because they thought other sports do it. But they don't have the infrastructure for it, obviously, because they don't have enough athletes to support it. And I think somebody, Potential Lunatic, said surely PBC will have a big problem with fighter activity if they lose Showtime. I don't think so. I think right now they have too many dates on the schedule, to be quite honest. They have way too many cards to fulfill. If you're looking at Showtime and Fox, I think they would actually they would benefit from having one network because they don't have the amount of fighters, they don't have the infrastructure, even though they thought they did. So, Rob, we were saying the same thing. You were misunderstanding what my point was.
Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of saying that one is a sport, the other is a company within a sport. So it's even more stupid.
But the NFL is a company within a sport. They have multiple TV deals.
Yeah, but the NFL is the only sort of...
How dare you disrespect the Canadian Football League like that?
Well, that isn't the NFL, is it?
How dare you... But it's football.
Yeah.
Ah!
When you're the only ones that play
for
the world, the only ones that could play for
What about
the world.
baseball? What about baseball? There's plenty of huge baseball leagues in in Japan and stuff. South America.
But I'm saying my point was it's hard to say, but the New York Yankees don't have an exclusive deal in one place and try to put them on in another place. There's just a Major League Baseball distribution. I don't know who plays what networks cover baseball, but there might be. But they get to show X amount of games live per year. That company gets X amount of fights per year, and it's spread out. They'll get maybe 2 Yankees games. The other network will get X amount of Yankees games. I don't know. I'm just saying.
No, yeah, I know. I understand what you're saying, Rob. But PBC would be the entity, the league in a sense in that comparison. Right, the team would be maybe the promoter within PBC. It would be like TGB Promotions, or formerly Lou DiBella Promotions with PBC. It would be that would be the equivalent. So PBC is allowed to have multiple network deals if they can just structure them right. They were just 2 big deals. But digressing, we spent way too long on this argument where we're saying the same thing. Find me, Matt Hunter, MCR, all platforms. Hit the like button, share the show, subscribe, patreon.com/Mixed Combat Radio. Rob?
Follow me, UK Rob, MCR, Instagram and Twitter. Hit that thumbs up, share the show. A bit late this time, but maybe next time you can hit the super chat button. What else? Patreon. Go check out the Trending Now network as well if you like some other stuff instead of just me and Matt.
Go do that Stokes video, Rob.
Yeah, not now. It's midnight. So
pussy.
Yes. I'm back at work now. That's it.
It could be 4 minutes.
No, there's way too much to.
Oh, really? Really? You want?
Oh man, honestly, you guys in America, you probably have absolutely zero clue what the fuck's going on. But this game was possibly the greatest game of cricket that's been played. So it's gone kind of crazy. But the fact that England won it is probably why it's getting said by me. But no, I'll maybe try and do something for the Trending Now Network. But yeah, catch you guys on the next one.
Peace.